You covered the Bucks last year, and they are now first in defensive rating.
Zing.
They are second in offensive rating.
Zing.
Yet, they don't seem to be, considered a title favorite. Why do you think that is?
I mean, they're in Milwaukee. That's part of it.
Cream City.
Yeah, so I made that reference in a story last year, and a ton of people were like, what is Cream City? And now it's on their jerseys, so I win.
Correct. Big W for you.
So, yeah, Cream City. I mean, they're in Milwaukee. That's part of it. They're buried a little bit. And there are sexier teams out there, right? There are spicier headlines to be had. There are more kind of dynamic, exciting players off the court that draw in the attention that the Bucks don't. But that's also the Bucks' secret sauce, right? They really have no drama. DJ Wilson said it the other day. This is the reason why we are so good, is we are so close off the court. We kind of are able to keep everything out. You don't hear a lot of things coming out of that locker room that you would find concerning. That's their MO. The question is whether or not they're going to be a title team this year is, did they get deeper in the offseason than they were last year?
Let's check out their numbers during this 12-game win streak. And to answer your question, Jacoby, I think it's because right now the NBA is about storylines. And people don't consider them to have a dynamic duo. Greek Freak is the reigning MVP.
Even though Chris was an all-star last year?
Correct. Because was he an all-star, or is he going to be a perennial all-star? He still has to graduate to that. If they continue to play well, and he missed some time.
He doesn't sniff the all-star game if he's in the Western Conference either. Yeah, that's the thing. So, Jalen, they're 20th in the league in three-point percentage. Do you think that will hurt them eventually?
Well, if you look at the competition, Philadelphia doesn't shoot the three well.
No, they don't.
And Boston isn't big up front. Right. So each of those teams has flaws. That's why those are the three teams, depending on what happens with Oladipo and Indiana, that have separated themselves in the East.
Well, we talked about this a little bit before on
Toronto,
this show.
I got to put some respect on their name.
Yeah, you got to put some respect on their name. Thank you. But we talked about this before on the show. In the regular season, their three-point shooting isn't a huge issue. It was in the playoffs when they needed some perimeter shooting to, one, create space for Giannis, but two, to be able to hit those daggers down the stretch, because the other teams that they played, particularly the team they lost to, the Raptors and Kawhi Leonard, they had players that could hit those big-time shots at the end. Giannis can't bully his way to the paint in the same way. That being said, a big part of their three-point shooting woes this season, I think, comes from Brook Lopez. And the fact that he has not hit those shots.
Yeah, he made 170-plus last year.
We're going to move on. I have a very simple question for you, Malika. Can Luka Doncic keep this up? Can he keep this up?
Yes.
Is Luka Doncic going to be doing this for the next decade?
Because he is a phenom. Because that man... That is a bad, bad man.
Yes.
That is a bad, bad man. He had a career-high 18 rebounds last night. That's not even counting the 33 points he had in 28 minutes. That is insane. I mean, you can just run down the list of accolades. He is the most triple-doubles of any player at 20 years old. He's the only player in the past 20 seasons to score 15 points and 10 rebounds in a single quarter. That's regardless of his age.
Wow.
He is a wunderkind, a wonder child.
Coming into this season, I wouldn't have called him a top 10 player. Now I am.
Yeah.
I would call him an MVP favorite.
What surprises you the most about his how he catapulted himself into that conversation?
I think because we tend to still, even though the game is infiltrated with those with foreign players, with players that didn't grow up in the United States, I think they still somewhat come from out of nowhere. You see Kristaps Porzingis get booed on draft night, and I think Luka Doncic was still a niche name when he came into the league. He's not particularly buddy-buddy with reporters. He kind of keeps to himself. He's a very, game-on type of player. And I think that caught people off guard. It's the demeanor. It's the stone-cold assassin, baby-faced assassin.
You just gave him a comparison by the way you described him to the Greek Freak.
Yeah.
An international player. People didn't really realize how good he was going to be. May not get the respect initially based on his game, and then he takes it and he goes to another level.
What's up? Thank you so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. Don't forget to download the ESPN app, and if you want more premium content, which you do, make sure that you subscribe to ESPN+. See you soon.